y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make a really quick Mongolian beef recipe. So what you need to do is you're going to use ground beef, about a pound's worth. You're going to cook it loose and drain it, set it aside, and then we'll come back to that. Right now I need to make the sauce. So the sauce is going to need about a half a cup of soy sauce. I use reduced sodium. You're going to need about half a cup of beef broth. And whatever sweetener you're going to use, we're going to use alternative sweetener, but you can use a quarter cup of sugar. And we need some red pepper flakes, about a half a teaspoon. I'll put a little bit of this back. Half a teaspoon. Okay. And then the hoisin sauce. See if we can get it out of here. You need 5 tablespoons of this, and I probably, of the hoisin sauce, probably have just about 5 tablespoons, I'm sorry, 5 tablespoons. We need some pepper. So you need to just stir all that. And that's your sauce. Okay. Now, I'll move my meat over here. I did, you need fettuccine noodles for this recipe. But I'm using linguine noodles because I couldn't find any fettuccine. Linguine is just a wider or thicker spaghetti noodle. But you also, if you had to, you could use spaghetti noodles if you didn't want to buy anything special for this. Okay, so this is a pound of ground beef. I cooked it very loose. I tried to chop it up just as good as I could, and I drained the grease off. You need to add 2 teaspoons of ginger, and I'm just eyeballing this. It's 1 and 2, and 5 cloves of garlic, but I'm gonna just use some garlic powder, and we're just gonna be heavy on that. Probably about a tablespoon and a half, something like that. Put that in there. Okay, now we'll go ahead and put our sauce in there. I'm gonna go ahead and start warming this back up. So we're gonna put that on low. So get this warmed back up so that this meat can kind of soak up the sauce. And then we're gonna add our pasta, and we're pretty much done. So let's just give this a few minutes to heat up. I'll just let this simmer, and now it's starting to boil just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and put our pasta in. You're only supposed to use 12 ounces, but I got the one from Aldi. It's kind of fancy. It's like in a paper wrapper. Anyway, I think it's 16 ounce. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put it all in there because these boys, they get me out of the house and home now. I ain't even lying. We're gonna need the extra pasta as a filler. And I did put a little bit extra beef broth in there to kind of make the sauce kind of, sauce go further. Oh, I wish I could wipe my own memory out. You want your noodles to soak up the juice or the sauce. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and garnish it. This is sesame seeds. So I'm putting a little bit of those in there. I put about half a cup or so. And some chopped green onion. And that's it. Today we are going to make chicken burrito bowls. This one's got a recipe. I'll link it below. But the only thing I'm really going to concentrate on is the part of the recipe that I like. It includes corn. We don't like corn in our Mexican dishes here. So I don't know if that's a southern thing. I don't know. But we don't like that. So I'm going to leave some things out. But I am going to go along with the chicken and how it's seasoned. I've already got me some rice cooked. But instead of just 2 chicken breasts, I'm doing 3. I would have done 4, but I didn't want to, you know, cut up another one. So we're going to go ahead with this and get started. You're going to need a little bit of oil. So I've chopped these up into bite-sized pieces. And you're going to need a few tablespoons of oil. And you're going to take a spoon, kind of stir it up. Alright. And I'm going to, let me see. I think I'm going to make this about triple the amount of the seasoning that's on here. So let's see. We need paprika first. And instead of 1 teaspoon, we are going to do 3. Because I want to make sure this is good and coated. Okay, 3 cumin. Not a big fan of cumin, so I'm literally going to not go crazy with the cumin. So did 3 of those, but they were kind of unlevel. Half a teaspoon of chili powder, but I'm going to do it 3 times. And 3. And I am out of kosher salt, so we're going to just use regular table salt. And then if it's not salty enough, we'll just do more when we go to eat it. And you're going to also need ground pepper, ground black pepper. I need a half teaspoon of that, but I'm just going to only do 2 of those because that's going to be really spicy. Husband's already going to be fussing because it's too spicy.
Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all.
We're going to put it in a skillet and cook it until it's done. I buy these little cheap skillets at Walmart, literally $10. And I buy the cheap ones just so I can basically tear it up a little bit. So, you know, I've had comments, you know, about, well, you're just messing up your nonstick skillet. It's a really cheap nonstick skillet. I don't even know that it would count as a nonstick skillet. So thank you, but I like the sturdiness of metal cooking utensils, and I like my skillet, so it's all good. Alright, so now the important thing about this is as it cooks, it's going to kind of stick together. You need to kind of keep trying to separate it because you've got to have enough for all of those hungry little people to feed, and these are going to have to break up into bite-sized pieces. Okay, so let's do medium-high heat. Keep a watch on it. Keep stirring it up and keep breaking it apart. And I'll meet you back here for the assembly process. Okay, y'all, so the chicken is done. I drained it as soon as I got finished cooking it, so it's done. It's seasoned pretty well. I will say it probably needs a little bit more salt, but if you're using the kosher salt, you know, you need to try it first and make sure. So what we do is we go ahead and move over to a bowl usually, and we're going to just start layering, and it just depends on what everybody wants to eat. So I've got rice here, so we've already did that. I'm going to go ahead and put in some black beans, and I'm going to do a scoop of meat. And then you would move on towards your tomatoes. If you want to add those. Cheddar, if you want to add that. Lettuce. And then sour cream. So this one, I'm just going to do some cheese. This one's going to be like literally hardly anything on it. Sour cream. Instead of making the salsa recipe on the actual recipe itself, you can get your own, and that's what I did. I just got some salsa.
Oh, I wish
Okay, so this is the finished product. If you look over here to this one, I've already started making another one, and I did it differently. So you can just do that. You can do all different kinds of flavors. If you had avocado, you can do that. If you had green onion, you can do that. And that's basically it. It's just something that you throw together. It's kind of revised from a regular burrito bowl that I make, that I've made several times. And it's just actually that plus some added chicken that's seasoned. Okay, I'll see y'all next time.